What is up, my internet friends and family? I'm Charmix, and today I'm going to be reacting to 5 rarest and most mysterious animals on the planet by top 5s. Now, top 5s make great videos, so I definitely recommend you go subscribe to them, and hopefully this video is going to be pretty interesting. But with that being said, the original link's in the description, and let's begin.
There are many categories of animal that roam around this planet. The ones that are thriving in the millions, the ones that have gone extinct, and the ones that are sadly endangered. But amongst this is a category that researchers do not know a whole lot about. Now, this is partly due to the fact that many of these are very rarely seen, and in turn hard to study. So all we have to base our research on is eyewitness reports, tales, and the occasional piece of footage. So from the handful of sightings of an extremely rare 500 million year old sea creature, to the African tribe reports of supposed real-life dinosaurs, here are 5 incredibly rare and mysterious animals from around the planet. Black panthers of the UK. When it comes to ferocious wild animals, the UK is not the most likely place to find them, as the wolves and bears were hunted to extinction many years ago. However, in recent years, there have been thousands of big cat sightings all around the British countryside, and these are taken very seriously by the authorities. Take the Beast of Bodmin for example, the long-sighted and rumoured panther-type cat that's led to the government sending Royal Marine snipers to search for it in 1983.
What?
But although the Beast of Bodmin is very well known, there are many more other sightings of big cats in Britain that suggest some kind of cat species does roam around. And not just word of mouth, but videos and photographs. Take this lynx that was shot in 1991 after killing 15 sheep in Suffolk. And this photograph that was taken in Cambridgeshire, where many sightings have been made
like
over the
jaguar.
years of big cats mutilating livestock.
Or a cougar.
And this paw print was also found by Welsh farmer John Matthias after he saw a big cat walking with a lamb in its mouth. But this is probably the most famous supposed big cat video that was taken by an off-duty police officer in 2009.
2009. So there hasn't been any more, like, sightings since then?
Then there are the physical attacks, like the 11-year-old boy from...
Did I just say since then? Did I just have a stroke? Anyway, as I was gonna say, I mean, if the latest sighting, or the most popular one, was in 2009, maybe the species of cat has died off or something, because you would think they would get more common with the more people that live in England, and, you know, the better technology, you would think they would have better videos. So, I mean, obviously, at some point there were, like, jaguars or cougars or whatever out there. Maybe they've died off since then.
Monmouthshire, who was left with slashes across his face in 2000 after he claimed to have been attacked by something large, black, and slinky looking. Throw in all the eaten animal carcasses with large teeth marks, and the thought that panthers or any other big cat roams around the UK is not impossible to believe. But how can we differentiate regular large house cats with exotic big cats? Well, there has been several DNA tests,
big cats are
one
bigger.
of which was taken on a hair sample from an animal attack in 2011, and the hair was confirmed to be that of a leopard. But where have they all come from, and where are they hiding? Well, in 1976, the UK implemented the Dangerous Wild Animal Act, meaning it was illegal for anyone to keep wild or exotic animals in their homes. This resulted in many of the panthers and lions being set free, as their owners could not bear to have them put down or kept in zoos. In fact, this was confirmed in 1980 when a puma was caught in Scotland that was thought to have been a released pet that had survived in the wild. This alone is the reason for many of the sightings in that period after the act was put in place.
That makes sense.
But are the big cats still surviving to this day and living around the UK? What do you think?
Well, I think since the latest sighting or whatever was in 2009, I think they've probably died off because, I mean, 2009, that was what, like 7, almost 8 years ago? So they've most likely died off since then.
The Yeti. Stories of the Yeti, or the Abominable Snowman as it's often called, have been a big part of Himalayan folklore for hundreds of years. Then, following the 1952 photographs taken at the base of Mount Everest by climber Eric Shipton, showing what many believe was the Yeti footprint, the whole world became interested in the possible existence of this mysterious Bigfoot-like creature. Since then, there have been many sightings by reliable people, usually respected mountaineers, claiming to have sighted the beast. Like Don Willans, who said he had an encounter with a Yeti in 1970 in Annapurna, when he saw a few human-like footprints in the snow, and later that night watched an ape-like creature search for food not far from his camp. Although, apart from the many sightings and encounters, has there ever been any definitive proof of the Yeti's existence? Well, in 2013, a leading British genetics professor, Brian Sykes, conducted a study using advanced DNA techniques on hair samples found from 2 unknown animals. One was discovered in the Western Himalayas, and the other 800 miles east in Bhutan. Remarkably, he found a 100% match with a 40,000-year-old jawbone of an ancient polar bear that was found in Norway. Now, although this does not prove the Yeti as we picture them are real, what it could suggest in Professor Sykes' eyes is that the creature many have spotted and the unidentified animal linked to the footprints around the Himalayan area could well be a cross between an ancient polar bear and a brown bear. Someone who has backed this theory for a while is mountaineer Reinhold Messner, who was the first man to climb Everest without oxygen, and who claims to have had an encounter with a mysterious beast in Tibet in 1986. Since the encounter, Messner has extensively researched the Yeti, and during this time he found a 300-year-old Tibetan manuscript describing a creature called a chemo, which is another name for a Yeti, and its description matched that of the many reports of the Himalayan beast. So maybe the Yeti isn't so unbelievable after all, and could be one of the many undiscovered creatures that we have yet to fully identify. What do you think?
I mean, I don't freaking know, but I mean, it kind of sounds like it's a Bigfoot scenario, where, I mean, there's so many people believe in it, and there's so many spottings, but there's never been a confirmed catch or confirmed actual video of one. So it could be real, it could be fake. However, I mean, who knows? Frig, that freaking jump scared me, what the fuck?
The Norwegian mountain trolls. A troll is a human-like creature that usually lives in forest caves or mountains, and can be short or extremely large. They are considered dangerous to humans and turn to stone if sunlight hits them. That is the traditional description of a folklore troll, and the tales of them go back many years, originating in Scandinavia and Norway, who very much keep this tradition alive even to this day. It sounds insane, but like most folklore, could there be some real-life encounters that led to the invention of mountain trolls? The answer is, most probably yes. Back in the day, mainly in Norway, it's believed that people would have run-ins with what they would call trolls in forests or mountains, and they would be described as aggressive to humans and in general not nice people. Some say it's entirely plausible that people who had run-ins with trolls were actually seeing nomadic natives to the forest, who perhaps had never seen outsiders before. Trolls, although now considered folklore, could have some real-life truth behind their origin. After all, there is some interesting evidence to suggest that some humans may have been much larger than today's humans and would be considered giants. So if this was the case, then are giants and small people who live in the woods or in caves, who perhaps look different and did not connect well with outsiders, really that hard to believe?
Yeah, I guess it's possible that, I mean, like, some kind of tribe out in the middle of nowhere, they could be considered, like, trolls to, more modern and civil people, because if you come across them and they don't, you know how to deal with you and they wouldn't like you, I guess I could see that it could be possible. Definitely back then, not really nowadays.
It's an interesting thought, but what's even more interesting is this photograph. It was supposedly taken in December 1942 by the crew of an RAF recon flight, 300 miles north of Berg. Now, some would like to believe it's true, although it's most likely a still from a movie called Troll Hunter. But even so, I would love to believe that there are giant trolls hiding in the forests, but I can't see that happening. However, regular trolls may have existed or still do, just maybe not in the form that the movies portray them.
I mean, definitely not that size. If they exist, they're probably like closer to human size, because, I mean, did you see that image? It was like 10 times the size of a tree, like a full-grown tree, which they're like, what, 15 to 20 feet high, or something like that, which means that the troll would have had to have been hundreds of feet tall, and I mean, if something that size is walking around, you'd hear it, and you would also see massive-ass footprints.
Alanautilus scorbiculatus. Now, there is very little to talk about this next creature, because it has only been spotted a handful of times, making it the rarest known about creature in the ocean.
Oh, that's cool. It's
called an Alanautilus scorbiculatus, and they are a small 15 to 21 centimeter furry-shelled cephalopod that's fossils were first discovered by John Lightfoot in 1786. But what's fascinating about these is they're considered as a living fossil, meaning they have pretty much stayed the same for millions of years. 500 million years to be exact is what researchers have dated this Alanautilus species. Despite being around for this long, they were only first seen alive in 1984 and 1986 when two scientists, Dr. Bruce Saunders and Dr. Peter Ward, saw the creature in the waters just off of an island in Papua New Guinea. After their sighting, they believed the species was close to extinction. But then in 2015, Dr. Ward returned to Papua New Guinea to study this prehistoric species and found some more 600 feet down. Dr. Ward and his team managed to capture one and take samples before releasing it back where they had found it. Their studies concluded that these creatures are isolated in deep depths and are unable to survive in warmer waters. But it's not only their rarity that fascinated Dr. Ward, but also the strange hairy and slimy covering that's on its shell. To date, this species has not been seen since 2015 and will continue to be one of the rarest known about creatures in the ocean.
So, last year? I mean, it's not that far away. I mean, it's only like a year ago, or at this point, almost 2 years ago.
Living dinosaurs. The thought that dinosaurs used to roam the same planet we do is hard to visualize, but they did, and millions of years later, we are still fascinated by them. But what if I said that some people believe dinosaurs were not completely wiped out, and that cryptozoologists strongly believe there are still some living in remote and unreached parts of the world, mainly deep in the vast unexplored jungles of Central Africa? These thoughts have come about not by someone's imagination, but by the many sightings that the tribes who live in the African forests have reported. Probably the most famous of these sightings is an animal that has been named the Mokele Mbembe, reported to live in the Congo River Basin. It's said to be extremely dangerous and territorial, and sightings of this semi-aquatic creature go back to the 1700s. There are plenty of local eyewitnesses of this creature, and it's likened by its description to a sauropod dinosaur. But that isn't the only supposed dinosaur in Central Africa. The Emina Ntuka is familiar to the Pygmy tribes, and it's said to be an aquatic creature around the size of a rhinoceros, with some saying it's a close relation to the Triceratops. Then there is the bad-tempered Ngubu, said to live in the savannah area of Cameroon, described as a small rhinoceros with horns and a frilled neck, that is said to be a descendant from a ceratopsian species. All of these creatures have been described by people who live in these dense and dangerous areas of Africa, which are not the sort of places that would be safe for researchers or anyone for that matter to visit for too long. So finding physical proof of what these people believe they have seen for now seems impossible. But what...
Well, I mean, if a whole bunch of people have witnessed it, it probably does exist, which sounds insane, because, you know, we thought they died off a long time ago. But, I mean, the rainforests and whatever, they're very, like, they're very hard for people to get in and, like, study. And a very small percentage of that area over there has been actually, like, studied and observed. So, I mean, it is possible that some kind of dinosaur or whatever could survive down there because humans can't get there for the most part. Or the humans don't go there. So, it is possible. However, to me it sounds unlikely in this day and age, but I mean, if a whole bunch of people have witnessed it, either they're trying to troll everyone, or it actually did happen.
What I find fascinating is that from the small amount of trips that have been made to these areas, the tribes who have been asked about these animals all point to dinosaurs as what they have witnessed when shown pictures. Add the fact that the tribes have absolutely nothing to gain from their believed sightings, with the search teams saying they do not want money and the last thing they want is publicity. It makes you wonder, why would they be lying? This by no means grants them full credibility, because to say that dinosaur descendants still roam Africa just based on eyewitness reports would be incredibly illogical. But given the fact that I can't imagine what we would find if we removed all of the water and forest from Earth, rare and undocumented animals that could have similar features to dinosaurs are really not that hard to believe. I would love to think this is all true, and that the tribes people are really seeing what they are reporting. What do you think?
So as I said, I think it's probably possible that they could exist still, because if humans with machine guns and shit like that haven't been down there, the dinosaurs might have been able to fend off from humans with spears and stuff like that. But if the humans with machine guns and rocket launchers and shit like that, if they got down there, there's no way the dinosaurs lived, because they would have been killed off. So they might be real still, they might not be, I don't know, but it's really interesting thinking that they could still be, you know, living today. Alright guys, I hope you liked this video. This was very interesting, and if you did like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up, possibly share it with a friend. If you're new, subscribe and join the family today, and I'll see you guys next time. Woo!